So, swing and a miss, he got him! The Phillies have swept out the New York Mets. A complete game shutout by Zach Wheeler, who scattered only 2 hits.
What's up, bro? How are you doing?
What's going on? Doing good. A lot of stuff to talk about this week.
Dude, I know. Were you watching, this isn't even necessarily baseball, were you watching any of the Olympics?
Yeah, I watched some of it.
Okay, got
some
you.
cool things in there. USA baseball was actually pretty cool to see.
Baseball was
sometimes.
second. I mean, I was watching a lot of the track. I mean, I ran track in high school, so it's kind of like in my blood, but some world records. It was pretty sick.
Didn't it? It looked like there was a lot of nights there. I guess because of the time zone difference, whatever it was, that like it was raining in a lot of the track events.
I think
Tokyo,
a few,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of strange. Like I don't remember ever really seeing that before. So
yeah, it was weird with the time difference too. Like some of the big races were at like 7 in, like our time.
I know.
So it was good though. It went quick, but I enjoyed it. It was pretty entertaining. So, but give me what was the favorite thing you saw this week?
Well, yeah. So speaking of the Olympics, it was actually in the USA-Japan final game for gold. So Todd Frazier played for Team USA this year.
Yeah.
And Masahiro Tanaka got to play for Team Japan because he didn't sign with anybody in MLB this year. So Tanaka actually pitched against USA in the final game. And then obviously Japan won the final game, so USA got silver and Japan got gold. But after the game, they showed like Tanaka and Frazier like hugging it out and talking and stuff. And I thought that was pretty cool because for anyone that doesn't remember, they were on the Yankees together back in 2017.
Yeah.
They both were on the team that lost to the Astros, so they're like very close and stuff. So I thought that was pretty cool to see.
Yeah. Now, did he like shut us down? Because I could totally picture him.
Yeah. Well, Japan won 2-0, so I don't know exactly what the box score was. I don't know how many innings he actually pitched, but obviously he didn't let up any runs. So.
Damn. No, that sounds like what Tanaka would do after not signing here.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. For me, I'm gonna go a slightly less impressive pitcher. Did you see Brock Holt on the mound a couple of days ago?
Dude, Brock Holt for Cy Young, man. Come on.
He was nasty though.
Yeah.
He was just. It's just so funny when like position players pitch and they're just like lobbing it to the plate.
Dude, I thought I saw him throw one in the 30s.
No, they were like all in the 30s.
Really?
And then occasionally he would just like whip it and it'd be like 70. But most of them were in the 30s, and he got 1, 2, 3 in.
That's nuts, man. That's just so funny. Like,
dude,
I would love to do that if I was like a position player kind of guy that like barely played. I would love to go in one day.
Dude, honestly, between him and Brad Miller, I feel like we've had some really good position players pitching this year.
Yeah, Brett Phillips too.
No, yeah, is that the name I just said, or did I just repeat Brock Holt again?
Oh, you said Brad Miller.
Right, who might
have pitched too, but
right. No, I think I'm getting them confused, but no, it's been pretty good.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
getting into a little bit of news this week. Ramon Laureano suspended 80 games for PEDs. So A's are losing one of their starting outfielders.
Yeah, I feel like we haven't really seen any major PED things in a while.
It has been a bit.
Now, this is probably the biggest name, and like in a long time, I feel like maybe Cano, I guess, was the most recent, but like it's almost like that just flew over everyone's head because he had gotten suspended twice already for them. So like, I think Laureano is a guy that like no one would have really expected it from, because like he's just great and he's known for like his defense more than his offense, I feel like. And then like it's not like he had like eye-popping offensive numbers this year. I'm pretty sure he was hitting like 240 with like less than 10 homers. I don't know. He wasn't.
Yeah. No, he's not
hitting
particularly
great.
Good.
I don't know, man. It's kind of strange.
Do you think players are just getting better at like hiding it now? Like, are players actually using it less, or is it just finding ways around it?
I don't know. I feel like they've got to be using it less, unless the league is just turning a blind eye to a lot of the guys, because, like, they test them all the time, supposedly. So, like, they would know this. Like, I feel like every drug would come up on a test. I don't know. I'm not
That's
really
a
sure.
theory. You think like some of the best guys are using it in the league, just keep it on the down low because they're entertaining?
I mean,
That's a little out there, but I mean, I
you
honestly
could
at this point,
definitely put an argument in that, like, the reason that A-Rod and Braun didn't get caught right away was because of the league wanting them to stay on the field.
Interesting.
You never know.
I would not
listen,
rule it out.
to me, for the A's as a team now, how big does this make, like, the Starling Marte trade?
True.
Because
True.
he almost didn't really necessarily fit there. Like, he was a good piece to have, but now that Laureano is gone, like, I think it's really good that they got Marte, because if they didn't, they would be in big trouble, I feel like.
I have to look how many games they're up now in the wild card race because I feel like it's pretty tight.
I think they're 2 games or 2.5 games ahead of us, ahead of the Yanks. So
okay, we'll go into the standings a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's tight, man. We'll see if they can hold on.
Oh yeah.
Other news: Tigers extend Jonathan Scope 2-year deal. His numbers with Detroit's been pretty good since start last year. 798 OPS, 26 homers. He's only 29. He said he wanted to stay there. So honestly, man, they've been pretty decent this year. They've been like a little over 500, a little under. Excuse me.
Yeah, like, I feel like they're kind of on the come up. Like, everybody's known that for a while, I think. They honestly kind of remind me of, like, Houston from a few years back, probably like the 2013 or 14 Astros, when they had, like, George Springer make his debut and Altuve was there, and maybe Correa made his debut too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that, like, it's interesting because, like you said, Scope wanted to stay there. So I think it's a good thing that they're showing progress in the fact that they want to keep guys who want to stay, and, like, they want to keep good players who've been good for them. They're not just going to, like, trade everybody still and keep rebuilding.
Right.
I mean, look, he's played about 153 games, I think, about that since he got there before last year. Obviously, that's about equal to a full season. Yeah, I mean, he's hit 26 homers. He's got 87 RBIs. And his career over 162 is 27 homers, 81 RBIs. So he's pretty much right on par, if not better, than his overall career numbers since he got to Detroit.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, he's only 29, which I think a lot of people forget, because I feel like I remember him on, like, the Baltimore teams with, like, Machado. And back in 2018, maybe, he was an all-star, I'm pretty sure. Then he got traded to Milwaukee, and he did pretty good over there, but he was kind of like a platoon role, so I don't think he played a ton. But, yeah, I mean, listen, he's a great player, and I think he probably has learned a lot playing with Miguel Cabrera. Let's just face it.
True.
No matter how Miggy's numbers have kind of gone down recently, he's still Miguel Cabrera. Like, he knows how to hit, and he knows how to teach hitting. So
yeah, that's another guy to keep an eye on, because he's coming up on 3,000 hits and 500 home runs. I think they have right
now. Yeah, I think he's at 498 homers right now. So he's pretty close.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, I think it's a good move by Detroit overall.
Yeah, same. All right, so deep dive today. One guy I kind of want to talk a little bit about is Lance Lynn. So Lance Lynn, his whole career, been pretty decent, right? 2011 through 2017, 3.38 ERA. He won a title with the Cards. Like, everyone just kind of knew him to be pretty solid, reliable. 2018 takes a step back, 4.77 ERA. Then 2 years ago, the last full season we had, just out of nowhere, strikes out 249 guys. He had never broken 200 before. So I remember, he was in the Cy Young race. I think he was like 6th or something. Then last year, leads the league in innings. He took a little bit of a step back, but he was basically the same as 2019. Now, at age 34, he is #1 ERA right now in the MLB. He's an all-star for the first time in 9 years. And he's on the cusp of his first Cy Young. I don't think anyone's catching him in the American League.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Lance Lynn, of course, in 2018 was when he got traded to the Yankees. and he was having his worst season
He
ever.
was only, yeah.
And of course, that was the worst year he ever had. So,
and I
that was
remember
awesome.
In the playoffs, I think he got rocked by Boston or some. Yeah,
it probably was Boston. I'm pretty sure that year. So
sounds about right. Yeah.
yeah,
So,
but listen, I mean, I've talked a lot about Lance Lynn before. Him going to the White Sox was awesome for him because like he's going back to his old manager and Tony La Russa, where he's comfortable with him. He's just coming to his own, and he just got that contract extension with the White Sox. I think about a month ago. It was like, what was it?
It was 2 years, $38 million.
Like, that's a bank for 2 years. Like, his AAV is nuts for that. And he's 34. I mean, it's a great deal for both sides too. Lance Lynn, I feel like has got to win the Cy Young. As much as I want to say Garrett Cole, Cole has had a few clunkers, and his ERA is kind of just higher. Let's face it, it's way higher than Lynn, and it's still good. So that's how good Lynn has been. I think Carlos Rodon, his teammate, probably has a shot too. But I mean, Lance Lynn has just been so much better than every other pitcher. It's just fun to watch. Every time he's out there, it's like you got to just watch the game.
No, honestly, you had mentioned the contract. So if he's making about $19 million next year, like just average, that would be the 19th highest pitcher, like average value in the league. So he would win Cy Young and be the 19th highest paid pitcher. So
yeah,
he's been tremendous. I want to talk a little bit about how he does it because the trend today is obviously like moving towards off-speed stuff. Like fastball usage has like sharply declined since 2015, and when they are throwing it just faster and faster, he's throwing four-seam fastballs at a higher rate than anyone in the league, but his velocity on those is in the 26th percentile. So he averages about like 94. He's not throwing it that hard. So he's talked about a little bit. He said like I don't have to be a max effort guy to get outs. When you look at I've got the ability to change speeds with the fastball and do some things. That's his words. So he's either throwing that or his cutter is sinker. So it's interesting going against the grain a little bit, but it's clearly messing with hitters at the plate.
So yeah, like I've noticed that he doesn't throw off speed very often at all. Like he has a curveball, but he barely uses it. It's more so like location, like for me. Like I think what happens with a lot of guys is that they throw the four-seamer high and it like gets an effect like it's rising and that it's like faster than it actually is. And like that's exactly what's happening to him. Good for him for figuring it out like so late in his career. Not so late, but let's say he figured it out in 2019. So when he was about 32.
I mean, he's 34 now. Yeah.
And it's not like he was never good. Like before 2018, he had a great run with the Cardinals. Like he was a very good pitcher. He wasn't ace though. Like he was probably a number 2, number 3 starter back then. And now, I mean, thinking about the White Sox rotation, they have Giolito, Rodon, and him, and he's the ace. You wouldn't have guessed that at the beginning of this year, really.
No.
Like, Giolito would be the guy who has been good also. Rodon kind of broke out, and then Lynn's just been unreal. So I think a lot of guys should look at what he does and try to do it, to be honest with you.
Well, right. Because I guess the other flip side is if he's not throwing as hard, that's saving his arm. And that's why I feel like he's not at risk to regress as much in the next few years and just, I don't even know the word for it, get old. Like he's saving bullets essentially.
Really? I mean, it's kind of crazy, to be honest with you. I think, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if he's a White Sox for the rest of his career. So either that or he's going to get banked from some other team after this 2-year extension is over. So
could be. Well, I guess why? I don't know. I'm curious why he took such a small deal. I mean, he probably knows something we don't, but still, like 2 years after the season he's having, I don't know.
Yeah, it's interesting. Maybe he has like another team in his mind that he wants to go to, and he wants to get 2 more good years in Chicago and then leave. I don't know. You never know.
Interesting. All right, get into not what it seems. Who you want to talk about today?
So honestly, I'm going to talk about something. I'm talking about Bryce Harper as a potential MVP candidate for this year. So, I mean, he's quietly having an MVP type season. A lot of people probably aren't realizing this, but let's just talk aside from the fact that guys got hurt. We'll talk about that in a little bit, who were probably front runners for the award. But Bryce Harper's current stat line is 302 batting average, 20 homers, 45 RBIs, 12 stolen bases, and a 983 OPS. So all those numbers are pretty solid for this point in the season. But something that might stick out to some people is the RBI totals. 45 RBIs at this point in the year doesn't really scream MVP. No, right? It's not. But there's kind of an odd stat as to why his RBI totals are so low. Obviously, home runs aren't the only way you can get RBIs, okay? But his first 14 homers this year were all solo homers. So he has 20. So he's only had 6 home runs where guys were on base, and his first 14 were like with no one on. So again, like obviously he probably had the opportunity to hit homers with guys on, and let's say he didn't. So let's say that's his fault. But it's not his fault that no one was on base when he did happen to hit home runs either.
Right.
And listen, I mean, as of now, this is going to sting a little bit for you. Harper has seemingly pushed the Phillies up in front of the Mets, and the Mets were in first place for the majority of the year. Let's face it, they were, and now they're not. And you guys have lost 9 of your last 11. And the Phillies are rolling. I mean, at Citizens Bank this weekend, you probably saw it seemed like playoff atmosphere completely. Zach Wheeler shoved in Sunday's game. Complete game shutout against you guys, former Met.
That's so fitting. Like, there's no other way it would happen.
No, there's not. And, like, Harper homered, I think, yesterday. We're recording on Monday, so Harper homered, I think, on Sunday. Did he homer on Saturday, too? He might have homered every game.
Probably did.
Guys.
Yeah.
It's just like even though the RBI totals aren't there, I think with Tatis and DeGrom both currently injured, Acuna's hurt right now, who probably had a shot. I think Castellanos, if he comes back soon, he could have a shot. Let's say the Reds get that second wild card spot, and Castellanos comes back and really puts up some great numbers. Possibly, he could be the guy. But right now, I think Bryce Harper has got to be the front runner, because what he's doing with this team is what he promised he would do. And again, the RBI totals aren't there. Every other stat is there. So
that's interesting. It almost reminds me, because I feel like his MVP year, I think he hit like 42 bombs, but he didn't even reach like 100 RBI. So it's not even like he hasn't had this season before. He just tends to hit a lot of solo ones, I guess.
Yeah. It's just like, I don't know. Where does he hit in the lineup? Third? Or second?
Probably. Yeah.
Because I think Kutch leads off. So I think he probably hits second. So, like, Andrew McCutchen does get on base. Like, it's not like he doesn't get on base. Like, that's just interesting. I don't know.
Right.
Or maybe he hits third because Real Muto might hit second. I don't know. But he hits second or third, I'm pretty sure. So,
yeah. And then
it's like strange.
The point on the NL MVP race is it's kind of a shame, honestly. I mean, every like star has just gone down this year. I mean, I feel like Tatis will be back fairly soon, so I'm hoping he gets this award. But yeah, man.
I mean,
Jake's gone. Acuna's gone. Castellanos has missed so much time now.
I think the MVP could easily, Freeman could be in that conversation.
True.
Because as bad as he started, we've talked about how good he was. He got the All-Star starting first baseman. He's been great since. I think he's kind of set out. He's had like an upper respiratory thing. He doesn't have COVID, but he's had like something. So he's been sitting out for a few days, but he's had solid numbers too the whole year. Obviously, Acuna getting hurt actually kind of opens the door a little bit for Freddie to go up there, because if Acuna was there, they'd kind of be going back and forth with each other. I mean, you were doing some research on some stats for this. So if he plays every game the rest of the season, his projected stats will be 30 homers, 68 RBIs, and 19 stolen bases. 68 RBIs is just like...
That seems like hard to do. 30 homers?
I know. Like, that's almost like... Yeah. Ah, man. That's just crazy. I feel like it'll bump up more. I feel like he's got to hit some more with, like, 3-run homers or some grand slams this year, and it'll kind of help him out, but...
In my mind, I think you'll agree with this. It doesn't matter. Like, if your OPS is almost 1,000, like, you're clearly, like... You should be in the running. Like, it doesn't matter, but like, it just looks weird. It's just like looking at that stat right now.
And again, like, if he carries the Phillies into the postseason, it's going to be hard to not vote for him if he keeps up like this, because like he looks like MVP. Like, he looks like MVP Bryce Harper from the Nationals that year. So he's confident up there. Like, he's having fun. This is a Bryce Harper that we all love to watch. So.
Did you see his inside the park home run? It was probably like a couple weeks ago now.
Yeah.
It was kind of
absolutely.
It was
electric, dude. It was crazy. I mean, that's the type of guy he is. Everybody knows it.
Right.
I mean, right now the Phillies just kind of have like this aura around them. Like, they have the hat thing whenever someone homers. Like, if you've seen that, probably. So
I haven't, but I feel like every team's doing that now. Don't the Blue Jays have like a blazer they wear now?
Yeah. They do a jacket. The Red Sox put someone in a laundry cart and push them around in the dugout. Yeah, I mean, the Yankees did something for a little while. They put like a jacket on because of like the Altuve thing. Like, he said it was too cold or whatever the fuck he said.
We'll have to rank them all at some point.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, so saying it now, Bryce Harper is the NL MVP if the Phillies make the playoffs.
Okay, we'll come back to
that's a big if, because you guys could easily have a good stretch run and then overtake him. The Braves could too. So,
I mean, yeah, I'm not expecting anything from our guys at this point anymore. But Atlanta, possibly. We'll see.
So another guy I wanted to talk about who's actually having a great season. We talked about him a little bit last week because he did just get traded to Houston. Kendall Graven is having an outstanding season. So with Seattle, he had 10 saves. Now in Houston, he's being used as a setup man. So the saves numbers would be higher if he was still in Seattle. But right now, overall, with Houston and Seattle, he has a 0.72 ERA.
Damn.
So, and he hasn't been hurt. Like, he's played the whole season. So that's legit. 9.9 strikeouts per 9 innings. So let's be nice here and give it 10 strikeouts per 9. Okay. He was converted to a reliever with Seattle prior to 2020, and it did not work out last year because he had a 5.79 ERA and 7.2 strikeouts per 9 last year. So that's not very good.
No.
And before that, he was a full-time starter from 2014 to 2018 with Toronto and Oakland. And he compiled a 4.76 ERA and 6.4 strikeouts per 9 over those 5 seasons. So he's never even been close to this good, to be honest, like, ever. Obviously, being a reliever is different, but he's only 30 years old.
I know we talked about this. I just don't understand why they traded him. If you're right in the playoff race, it just does not make sense to me.
No, and like, you know, Seattle just played us this weekend, 4 games, and we won 3 of them. A lot of the wins we had were late game wins.
Mm-hmm.
So if Graveman was still there, it could have gone a lot differently. So yeah, I mean, Jerry DiPoto just does some things sometimes, man, where I just don't get it.
No.
Graveman is probably, aside from Craig Kimbrell, Graveman might be having the best season of any reliever.
Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, ERA under 1.
Not counting saves. Like, because saves, whatever. Like, you can't control that he doesn't get saves. Like, he can't control that.
Yeah, no, saves is a weird stat.
Yeah. I mean, is this another case of, like, a veteran reshaping his career as a reliever after being the starter for most of his career?
I mean, yeah, I kind of want to see him obviously do it for maybe 1 or 2 more years, just
Okay.
because if he's gonna put up a 5.7 last year,
Right.
and then previous seasons he just wasn't even relieving, so like you really just don't have a lot to work with.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not buying it yet.
Think about it too, though. Last season was the shortened season, so
That's
he
true.
could have easily figured it out at some point. But you never know. Like you said, I would like to see it for a little bit more time. But something that stuck out to me was that his FIP is currently 2.63,
Oh,
which is higher than 0.72. But like 2.63 as a reliever, that's not bad. Like,
no,
you know
it's
what I
not. It's
mean?
about 3 times what his ERA is, but it's still not bad.
Yeah. Um, so I think if he was a closer for a team and he had a 2.63 ERA, that's pretty good because
Yeah,
that means the majority of the time you're getting the save or like you're getting the high leverage situation and you're doing good. So I would like to see it for a little bit longer, but I mean, I don't understand the trade at all. Um, like especially to a division rival when you're in the playoff hunt. Like
no, that's just
Seattle was
so
in the
odd.
I don't
And
know.
Houston's looking so good now too,
Yeah, they are. So
without Bregman in the lineup. I don't know, man.
yeah.
Understand. All right, 50 games to go. Let's do a quick standings update as of we're recording this on Monday, so it could change a little bit. But what stands out to you right now?
Um, I mean, there's just a few things. Like the Giants were the first team to 70 wins. They have 71 wins at the time we're recording, so that's
Who would have
interesting.
thought?
I don't think anybody would have predicted that. So good for them. Um, I think another interesting thing is that the AL East currently has 4 teams above 500 and 4
Yeah,
teams pushing for playoff spots.
like
So,
well over 500. Yeah,
like Toronto is in 4th place right now, and they're 60-50 record wise. So they're 10 games above 500.
damn.
I mean, yeah. So that's interesting. And then on the flip side, the AL Central has 4 teams below 500. So that tells you something about these two divisions. But
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, yeah, that division, the White Sox are blowing through the roof. So they're going to easily win it. The AL West, Oakland is only 2 games behind Houston. As much as Houston has been doing good, they're still only 2 games behind them. So that's not insurmountable at all.
No.
So we'll see what Oakland does here. They always find a way to stick around. So that's going to be interesting. And yeah, we got to look at kind of a change up in the NL East, unfortunately, for you. The Phillies jumped 3 spots up from the last time we did this, and they're in first place now. The Braves are in second place, and then the Mets dropped down 2 spots to third place.
I
Still,
heard
though,
some
you guys.
people. I heard some people calling it like an epic collapse. I wouldn't go that far. Like
No.
2007, 2008 for the Mets was an epic collapse. This was about 5 games. I don't like that. Seems a little bit of a reach to me, but like,
Yeah.
dude, like it's just not working right now. And it's different. I feel like when the Yankees struggle, you like to kind of break it down. Like, oh, here's where we're sucking. Here's when you do the lineup. For me, it's just kind of like, no, just like leave me alone. I hate
Yeah.
talking about it. But nah, man, Philly's hot. No other way to put it.
Yeah. And like the last time we did this too, the Nationals were in second place.
Were they actually?
So think about how much has changed since then. The last time we talked about standings like this was probably the beginning of July
Mm,
or the end of June, maybe around that time. So that's interesting. Yeah, I mean, talking about wild card races in the American League right now, Oakland and Boston have the top 2 spots. I think they have the exact same record, if I'm not mistaken, or they're like in the win-loss column. They're like even or something, whatever it
okay.
is. So I'm not sure. You know what? I'm looking at it now. Oakland has less losses, so I think they technically have the top spot right now.
Got you.
Oakland is 64-48, and Boston is 65-49. So Boston has one more win, but Oakland has one less loss. So in the race, though, the Yankees are 2.5 back, Toronto's 3 back, and Seattle is 5.5 back. They kind of slipped this weekend against us. We won 3 out of 4, but they're still there. And then the NL, obviously, it's still LA and San Diego, but Cincinnati is only 2.5 back.
That's getting kind of interesting.
Yeah. The Braves are 6.5 back. The Mets are 7 back. Let's be honest. No one from the NL East is getting a wild card spot.
No.
One team is going to make it, whoever wins the division. So
I did not think anyone was going to challenge San Diego, though. Like, honestly, the Reds could take that.
Dude, I mean, Joey Votto's been absolutely nuts. We talked about him last week. I think Jonathan India has still been on a tear. He's probably going to win Rookie of the Year. Moustakas just came back to this past weekend against Pittsburgh. I think he went 3 for 4 in his first game or something crazy.
Yeah.
Like, he's good. I mean,
I think a couple of things will come down to is first, like we mentioned, Tatis obviously, like, just he needs to be there. But Blake Snell, I think it was yesterday, threw like 7 innings, 13 Ks. Like, he looked like his old self. So he's going to stick somewhere around there if they want to have a shot, I feel like.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, they kind of were expecting him to be like ace. Like,
I mean,
I guess.
Yeah, pretty reasonable after what he's just done.
And, like, he's won a Cy Young before, too. So, like, you're expecting him to be good. And, like, Darvish has been pretty good. Musgrove's been good. But, like, the Reds' starting rotation has been good, too.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about them a little bit. Like, Sonny Gray's been good the whole year.
Freaking Wade Miley.
Luis Castillo is finally starting to turn it around a little bit, too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, like, Wade Miley threw a no-hitter earlier this year. Like, so did everybody. But still, like...
Yeah, no, he's been surprisingly good. And then I guess the last team that I thought was kind of notable was Boston. Just went at 2-8 over their last 10.
Yeah, so I was actually looking into this. So since the second half started after the All-Star break, the Red Sox are 10-13 and they're 2-8 over their last 10. And on the flip side of that, since the second half started, the Yankees are 16-7 in the second half, which is the best record in the league, and they're 8-10 over their last 10. 8-2 over their last 10 games. So it's kind of been the complete opposite for both teams here.
Dude, I feel like honestly, the more I look at Boston, the more like I'm not really surprised. Like, who's pitching for them right now? Like, Evaldi's kind of slipped.
Yeah. Like, Eduardo Rodriguez hasn't been that good.
No, like, I mean, you're getting Chris Sale back. We'll talk about that. He's coming back this Saturday. But I don't know. Maybe they were just playing over their heads. Because I'm not sure how they even got this far.
Like, and I'm not gonna shit on them because, like, their offense is very, very good.
Yeah,
like,
no,
that's
honest,
like, Devers has been amazing. JD Martinez, Bogarts, I mean, Verdugo, they've all been good. But I've been thinking the whole year that they just didn't have the pitching to do it. And, like, that wasn't just me as a Yankees fan wanting to trash the Red Sox. Like, I literally thought that. And not that we have the best pitching either, but I think it's like, I think we've kind of maybe been playing over our heads recently too, because we've had a few guys on the COVID IL, like Cole, Montgomery, Gary's on the COVID IL. We'll talk about Rizzo a little bit later. But still, like, and then the fact that we're 8-2 over our last 10 is kind of ridiculous. And I don't know. I think it's going to come down to the wire. I think one of us, is going to miss the playoffs. And
yeah, because I don't see Oakland falling out of it.
Which possible, I guess they could, but I agree. I don't see them falling out. And honestly, don't sleep on Toronto because their offense is nuts. And Barrios has been great since he came over. Ryu is ace over there. They just got back
huge win last night. They were down, I think, 5 against Boston. They came all the way back in the 8th.
Yeah, I think they won 9-8. Was
Springer
the final score.
hit like a bomb. It was pretty cool, especially being back.
Oh, yeah.
in Rogers
That's
Center.
insane. Like, I think that's really lifting them up, dude. Being back there,
Yeah.
it's really helping them out. And yeah, I mean, it's like I think the Rays will win the division. Although
I think that's a given. Yeah, at this point,
if they slip for a little bit, and let's say the Yankees or the Blue Jays or the Red Sox get really hot, it's possible that someone else overtakes them. But the Rays are going to Ray, and that's what they're doing right now. So
yeah,
I don't
honestly,
see them
bro,
slipping. But
give them credit. You lose Snell, Morton, and then Glass now for what, half the season now, and they're still just like chugging along.
I don't even understand how, dude.
No,
it doesn't make any sense. But I don't think we're meant to understand why. So
I don't think so either. But yeah, I mean, I guess just both wildcard races I feel like are going to be really good to watch over the last.
If you could pick right now, who's going to get the 2 spots in each league?
And then I'll go Dodgers. I'll stick with the Pods. I know it's like the boring answer, but I just feel like they're gonna stay. And then on AL, Yankees, Oakland. I'll say Boston just continues to collapse. That's a very Boston thing to do. What about you?
Man, as much as I want to see Tatis in the playoffs again, you know that I've been on the Reds for a long time.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I'm going Dodgers Reds.
Okay.
With the potential of a play-in game with San Diego and Cincinnati. They might have the exact same record. I'm going to say that would be a lot of fun. So I'm going to say that for the NL.
Dude, could you imagine Cincinnati beats the Dodgers in the wild card game? Like, it's not even like anything can happen one game. Like, that would be insane.
I know,
but it's so doable though.
It's like you can't really get on Scherzer for this, but let's say Scherzer starts the wild card game.
Yeah,
they have a lot of options, but let's say they go with Scherzer. The Nationals got out of that wild card game the year they won the World Series after a not so good start by Scherzer because of the Trent Grisham error. So Scherzer wasn't I think he maybe let up 4 runs, which like isn't bad, but
yeah,
in a wild card game, that's a little much for your starter to give up. So let's say he goes again. There's no guarantee that he's going to be like amazing. So, let's say I guess Sonny Gray would probably go for the Reds or Castillo.
Yeah.
If Sonny Gray absolutely dominates, I mean, it could definitely happen.
Dude, I hope whether it's Dodgers San Diego or Dodgers Cincinnati, I feel like either of those would be great.
Yeah. Because, like, I would love to see, like, Castellanos and Winker in the postseason.
Yeah.
That would be pretty cool. But AL, I think I'm going to have to agree with you. I'm going to say Oakland and the Yankees. As much as I want to say, like, Toronto and the Yankees, I feel like
same. I want them.
That would be so cool. And, like, that's definitely possible, too. Like, if Oakland falls out, you never know how the Laureano stuff is going to affect them. If they kind of drop off and then Boston drops off, it could be a wild card game in the Bronx or at Rogers Center between the Yankees and the Blue Jays.
Bro, they just got Barrios. I mean, I don't know, man. I would watch out.
That would be pretty cool. But we'll see, man. 50 games left. It's going to be a wild ride, dude. It really is. So
this is the home stretch, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Couple injuries to get into. Yankees still just dealing with the COVID. Anthony Rizzo placed on it. So he'll be out. What is it? Is it 10 days for COVID? I don't even know how many days.
It's at least 10.
Okay.
I think if you test positive though, close to that date, it could be longer. I don't really know exactly what it is, but
okay. Yeah, I mean, he had mentioned early in the season he didn't want the vaccine, so it's just.
Yeah, and like, I think, we don't know for sure if he did get it or if he didn't get it.
Yeah, no, I don't think it was ever confirmed,
he did
but he had just mentioned that he didn't want it. Yeah. So, I don't know.
So, listen, I mean, regardless, really hope for the best from him. Obviously,
yeah.
Baseball aside, Rizzo is one of the best people in the game.
Yeah.
Plus, how he's helped us since he came over has been absolutely unreal. So, I really hope that he gets better soon and he's back. But if any good news could come of this, Luke Voigt was activated because of this. So
Yes, sir.
Voigt is back. We'll see what they do with the lineup and stuff once Rizzo's back. And yeah, we also just placed Chapman on the IL with left elbow inflammation.
That's tough.
That's never good to hear. Really hope
Wow.
it's nothing to do with Tommy John. So we'll see. Yeah, I feel like we can't catch a break, dude. Every
Just hope
single
Voigt
time we
stays on
start
the
to get
field.
hot. I know, man. I feel like he's been hurt the whole year. He's had like 3 different IL stints the whole year.
Yeah.
But
So-
talking about COVID for us, like I said before, Cole, Montgomery, and Gary are all on the COVID IL too. I think like we've had other guys. We had Judge on it once this year. Higgy was on it once. Glaber had it once. A bunch of coaches had it once. I mean, I'm just lucky. We're lucky that this isn't last season, because if this was happening last season, the season might have been canceled. So
I feel like I remember early on last season, there was a legitimate concern that they were just going to stop the season. I remember Manfred saying that.
Wasn't it the Marlins and the Cardinals?
The
Both
Marlins,
had
the
big
Cardinals,
outbreaks, right?
yeah. So, I mean,
Um,
I feel like this year it's been you guys and the Nationals that have really gotten hit.
yeah, it's been tough. So hopefully everybody comes back healthy pretty soon.
Yeah, no, and get vaccinated, everyone, please.
Yeah.
One guy we've talked about Tatis a little bit now already. He's not gonna be ready to return when he's eligible this Tuesday. Kind of interesting though. He was taking reps in the outfield like this past week, like in practice. And Jace Tingle was talking a little bit about it. He was like, well, the infield gives him more plays where he might dive with his left shoulder in like a vulnerable position. So, and he might have possible collisions with base runners. So, like, it's nothing guaranteed. Like, it might amount to nothing, but just kind of interesting to see him potentially leave shortstop.
Yeah, I'm like thinking about it now. It's like, I feel like the only way that this move is possible now is because they got Adam Frazier too. Because now they can put Cronenworth at shortstop and put Frazier at second, and then put Tatis maybe in left or right field. That's interesting. I can't imagine seeing him in a different position, especially because he's one of the best players in the league. But
no,
I guess you do see it sometimes. Like, A-Rod moved to third from short. That's not the same thing, obviously, but it's a little bit. Like, at the time, A-Rod was one of the best shortstops in the league, and he moved to third too because of Jeter. Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, I feel like I don't know. The place he makes the shortstop, like, he's going to dive in the outfield. Like, he's like an athlete. He's not going to not dive. Like, I don't know. That's kind of weird.
Right. No, that's kind of his game. I mean, I'll believe it when I see it. I think they're just trying it out right now, but kind of interesting. Couple others. We mentioned Chris Sale. He's debuting this Saturday against Baltimore. I feel like we haven't seen him in forever now, but
it's been a while.
Try to give Boston a little boost. Travis d'Arnaud is coming back from the IL this Tuesday for Atlanta.
I feel like he's been out for a long time. Right?
I thought he was gonna miss the whole year. So
yeah, good for him. That'll be a big boost for the Braves for sure.
Yeah, they need it. And then Alex Bregman come back this week. They'll be playing Colorado, and Luis Robert is going to be activated this week to play the Twins.
Yeah, that's going to be a big boost. They already got Jimenez back. To get him back will be awesome for a team that's already 10.5 games ahead of the Indians in their division. So
they're looking nice, dude. Especially with the Kimbrel trade now, I'm pretty high on them.
Yeah. I mean, I think, again, Bregman will really help the Astros as hot as they've been. Too. That could really propel them way higher up than we think they're going to be. Like, they're only 2 games ahead of the A's right now.
Yeah.
Getting Bregman back could really push them up more. I mean, 2 guys that have been hurt for like most of the year for their teams that are in first place, and both teams are in first place. So that's kind of interesting, I feel like.
Yeah, no, agreed. And as far as series looking forward to this week, what do you got?
Well, man, I got to go Yanks White Sox, because speaking of, on the Thursday is the Field of Dreams game.
Yeah.
So that should be a pretty cool game. So the way the schedule will work is we'll play Thursday, then both teams will have Friday off because they'll go back to Chicago, and then they'll play Saturday and Sunday in Chicago. But yeah, so I think Thursday, I think it's on at 7 maybe or 6 o'clock. I don't know what it was.
I think it's 7 o'clock Eastern. I believe.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So that would be 6 there. So yeah, I mean that should be pretty cool.
Dude, I just watched it for the first time last night. I'd never seen it, but I've always heard the hype.
Oh wow!
And it was cool. It was. I didn't know a lot about like Shoeless Joe Jackson or any of that stuff, but it was kind of cool. So.
I know. Oh yeah, it's a classic.
Yeah. Now when I watch this game Thursday, I'll actually understand it. So.
Yeah, definitely. What series do you got?
I got Houston at LA at Angels. Honestly, weren't a ton of great series this week, but I mean, we were just talking about how good Houston's going to be. Got them in Southern California against Ohtani. Dude, is Trout coming back anytime soon? Like, what happened to him?
Man, I feel like he's had some setbacks the whole time. I don't know. I hope we see him at some point this year, but
and now they lost.
I just want to see him. Man, are we ever going to see Trout in the playoffs again?
I don't think so. I think this is it.
Like right now, somehow, actually, we didn't even mention this in the standings because it's not very relevant, but like the Angels are at 500 somehow without Trout and Rendon. So,
very nice.
Like, we're congratulating that. That means we're never going to see Trout in the playoffs because we're never expecting it.
No, I don't have confidence in that front office. I don't know.
No.
Sad.
That's brutal, man. It really is.
No, yeah. All right, so I actually have a cool stat of the week this week. So yesterday, the Phillies retire Roy Halladay's number. Then on the end of that game, Zach Wheeler became the first Phillies pitcher to retire 22 straight batters since Roy Halladay's perfect game in 2010.
Really? Wow.
Kind of weird.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, that's eerie. That's strange, man. That's awesome, though. I mean, I wonder if, like, Wheeler knew at the time. Probably not.
Probably not, no.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the other thing, too, man. He's starting to put up a Cy Young candidacy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, I feel like we talked about Wheeler a lot this year.
Yeah.
Like, having great starts. Like, he's on my fantasy team, actually, so I've been paying attention to him a lot.
Yeah.
He's like, not that he was not good with you guys, but he's really figured something out in Philly. So,
no, I completely agree. He was so inconsistent with us, and now he's
like, yeah,
would love to have him right now.
He would have some great starts with you guys, and then he would like have some shitty starts. It's like it would be like one start he would go like 9 innings like he did yesterday and no runs, complete game, and then another start he would go like 2 innings and allow 8 runs. It was,
dude,
like,
I
really
wish we signed him though. Like.
Yeah.
For the money he got, we definitely could have done it.
Oh yeah. Well, I think if you had Cohen as as the owner, then
that's
you probably
true.
would have.
We had Brody Van Wagenen, so
yeah,
not as owner, but GM. You know what I mean. Regardless.
Yeah. Same issue. So.
Well, on that sad note, that's it for us. We will be back next week. So. Take it easy.
Enjoy the game on Thursday, guys. Hopefully everyone watches.
Yeah, true. Enjoy.